had a dream like 4 days ago, and I've been sitting with God, and I've been so frustrated because there's just a part of it that I just haven't been able to figure out. Um, so basically, I'm originally from Colombia. I live in the U.S. I haven't been there for over 20 something years, but in Colombia, I used to have a farm, and what that represents to me was my childhood, um, roaming free, wild and free, very organic. Represents like the most beautiful time of my life, right? So in the dream, My husband is driving. My mom is next to him as a passenger, and I am in the back, in the open, right? Because it's like a pickup truck. So I'm in the back, and we are on a bridge, but the bridge is like a dirt road, but it's a bridge and it's crossing over one of the rivers that I remember it was behind my farm. It's a very big river with big rocks. And because the road was very bumpy, I was holding on to my goddaughter. I don't know why she was in the dream, but I was holding on to my goddaughter because it was bumpy and I was in the back, right? And at the same time, I wanted to take a picture of the background view because it was beautiful. It was huge rocks. The water was like splashing onto it. And I was trying for 3 times. I tried to take a picture. I don't know if it was with my phone or the camera, but every time I looked at it, it was blurry. And finally, we get to the end of the bridge. We cross over, and I'm like, I was frustrated. I was like, well, if only my husband would have slowed down a little bit, I would have been able to take a picture. Um, but mentally, I knew where we were going. I knew that we were going to my farm, and I guess the only person that could really guide us there would be my mom, which is why I imagine she was there as a passenger seat. Um, and then I was like, okay, maybe for the next one I could do it. And then my mom turns around and she's like, you don't remember? There's only one time. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then this is the part where it turns like sci-fi because I have no idea what this means. So we're no longer in the car. We're now walking on dirt road. And then in the middle of the road, there's just like an opening, like a little creek kind of opening. It's circular. It's an oblique, cylindrical kind of like opening. And there's like a worm, skinny worm with pale pastel colors. And then this blob kind of worm, white, comes and eats it and starts eating it slowly, slowly, slowly. And I'm just watching it being eaten. And that's the end of the dream.
So where was the worm?
It's in the ground, but it's one of those, like those gummy worms that are like
Mhm.
pastel colors that
Yeah.
have like different pastel rainbow colors. It was like that, and it was like very pale, but it had colors, very pale pastel colors, and it was just kind of, I was like, oh, a worm. And then in the dream I was like, oh, a worm eating another worm. But then I was like, but it looks like one of those underground animals from like the deep, deep ocean, those that are like white, pale, that don't have any colors. And then I was thinking like that. I said a worm eating a worm, but then I knew that it was something that has submerged from the underground and it was completely white.
Mm.
And that's just been bothering me because I was like, I have no idea. Like the only thing I can think of, I remember like in the Bible was like when one thing, I guess like the skinny cows with like the thicker cows like eating, but I don't know like if it really references that. It's just been bothering me. It was like, well, this dream turned sci-fi. I don't know what that means. Like I can probably tell, like for me, what my farm represents. It represents like the best moments of my life. Um, I don't know what it means that I'm holding my goddaughter. Um, I'm not very sure if it's
How old's
something
your
that I'm
goddaughter
holding
in
on.
the dream?
Huh?
How old's your goddaughter in the dream?
And right now she's like 10.
Okay. Did you lose somebody around the age of your goddaughter?
No.
Because I felt like your goddaughter might be figurative for somebody else. And it's the whole idea of wanting to hold on to her or going through a bumpy time and wanting to take a picture is the idea of wanting to freeze that moment and capture the past, but you're unable to do it.
So I've always wanted to have a daughter. I
Mm,
have a 13-year-old son, but my husband never wanted to have more children. And obviously, it's like I've always prayed for it, but in his mind, it's like it's just never going to happen. But I feel like God has always told me, like, it will at some point. So I don't know if maybe that's what it means that I'm holding on to, because I'm like, what, my goddaughter, if it's like a goddaughter, if that's what, like, the hope or something that I'm holding on to.
mhm,
That's the daughter that you want God to give you.
Right. That's what I thought.
mhm.
Yeah.
But like every time I tried to take a picture with her, it was blurry. 3 times, and I was like, well, I wish my husband would have slowed down. I was like upset. But at the same time I was happy because I knew where I was going. But I was like, I wish he would have just slowed down. I could have taken a picture. So it's and then that scene of like the worm is it just, I don't know. If I really would love to have like a little bit of clarity of that dream.
Yeah. I think the worm is really interesting. Somebody said, there's a verse in Joel where it talks about there's going to be four types of worms or locusts. They come and they eat the leaf, the plant, the root, and the stalk. And then later on, God says, I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And it even talks about like the locust and the canker worm is what it says. And so it's literally the years that you've been holding on and waiting and wanting something, wanting to return to your past, which I just feel like it represents a place of happiness and family. And part of that for
Right.
you, would like to see in your future is having a daughter and remembering those times on your grandma's farm and wanting to be able to share that with your own daughter, and feeling like that's been lost. And God's promise is that I will restore the years, the years that the locusts and the cankerworm have eaten. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that means that, God supernaturally changes your husband's heart, or gives you a baby girl in spite of that, or that you adopt, or anything like that. I'm not sure what it means, other than know that God is faithful and God wants to restore the years that have been taken from you.
This is the second time that I hear that. That has also been prophesied over my life twice, that God is restoring the years that I've lost. Um, wow, that has a lot of meaning too. But yes, it's something that I've been like, I always, pray and cry out because it hurts me. It's painful. I, I just, I would love to have more kids. Um,
Yeah, and I think the blurry pictures, the three blurry pictures that you take are
mhm.
you can't see how this is going to happen.
Oh,
You're taking a picture of something, but it's just not clear to you what's in that picture. It's blurry in your own mind. You have no idea how this is going to happen. And your husband's driving so fast that you
right.
can't get a good picture of it. And in life, it's like things are going too fast beyond your childbearing years. Perhaps eventually it'll get beyond it. It'll
Mhm.
go so fast that there's no way you can turn around and revisit
Right.
that in order to have children. But
Right. That's what I also feel.
yeah, and that I think that's what the beginning part, and then you slow down because now at the end of it you're walking, so life is slowed
Mhm.
down a little. You're no longer raging around in the truck, and mom's not guiding you anymore. It's just you walking on the open road, and you
Right.
see this, the gummy rainbow worm. It's pale. The symbol of the rainbow is it's the Noahic covenant that God made, that He would never. It's His promise to the earth that He would never crush the earth again, and it's His
Right.
promise that He's going to be faithful to us. And
Wow.
the other worm trying to eat it is like everybody has said up to this point, is trying to eat a blessing that actually can't be eaten. But if the white worm, white is a symbol of purity. It's kind of a weird symbol that something more glorious is eating up the rainbow promise.
Yeah, it was completely white. It was so weird.
Yeah. It's a strange symbol.
Yeah, it really bothered me. Like, I was really frustrated with that dream. I couldn't even, like, pray in the morning without asking God, like, what does this mean? But what does this mean? So I'm, like, really happy to have been here. Thank you so much.